looking at my Forex outlook for the week. So we can see here, looking at pound yen, we are range bound between these two lines here, these two red lines. I'm looking to see that if we can get another test of the upper bound of the range. But if we get that, I'm looking to see if we can get that from the 74 level, right? That's where I see the value in the market based on some other things that I use in terms of my analysis, okay? Now, that being said, that does not mean that the market has to come down to that level before it can go higher. I'm not naive to the market in that it could book higher or price higher at any point without me without me knowing it, right? And so with that being said, I'm going to stay alert and recognize that we could move higher from this level. And why would I say that? If you can just look to the left here, you can see this great area of, previous resistance, support for a bit, support, then resistance, right? Then, previous tries to use it as support, fails, right? Comes back down, right? So that being said, we could use this level here and just blow out these blue areas that I have here marked down. Now, when I have those blue areas marked down, dropping down the 4-hour, I'm looking to see if we can get a pullback into these areas, and the pullback agrees with us moving lower on the 15-minute from these areas, okay? Now, what I mean it agrees, I'm going to look to see how we pull back, again, using another thing that I use for my own analysis to judge the strength or the weakness of that pullback, okay? And judging how strong or weak we pull back is going to determine, do I try to sell from this area or do I try to let it go, right? That being said, if it doesn't work from this area, I also have this area marked down as well, and then as well as this, area much higher, again, being the upper end of that range that we were looking at on the weekly. Now, looking at pound dollar, again, we can see that we could, move lower for these lows here, or we could also push higher for these highs or these highs or these highs as well, right? Or also these beautiful highs up there, right? But that being said, again, looking at where the value is in the market, I'm looking to see that could we come lower to the 78 level before we push higher. Again, like I said, on pound yen, it doesn't have to come lower to the 78 level before we push higher, and we are actually moving in an area where we could move higher from this area, okay? That being said, if we do move higher from this area, get a bit of a retracement, what I would be looking for to see is, how do we move higher from this area? Do we move higher strongly or do we move higher weakly? If we move higher weakly, I'm going to look for us to first sell from this area, again, dropping down to the 15-minute and looking for an entry there, or look for this area up here to look to sell, okay? Now, that being said, again, why would I look to sell from these areas? Because we could also just come right back down to the 78. We could use either one of these areas to sell lower to the 78 level to eventually book higher, right? So that is pound dollar. And then euro dollar, looking at euro dollar, again, we could again target these lows here, or again we could target these highs up here or up here or up here as well. Now again, where I'm looking to see if we're going to look to book higher or lower is this area down here in the 76 level. Now we're a bit closer than pound yen or pound dollar, so it's going to be really, really key to see if we move off of this, 75, 76 level, okay? And on top of that, again, like with pound yen, pound dollar, if we do move off that level, how do we move off that level, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to be looking to see, again, do we move off this level or do we just move higher from here? Okay, the market, again, like I said before on looking at pound yen, pound dollar, the market can move how it wants. It doesn't, and when it wants. So that being said, looking to see if we might move higher from this level into these 4 hours areas that are marked down. And how we move is going to determine what it is that I do, look to sell or go long. Apologize for the alarm in the background. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it provides some value.